Hi, it's Sandra King from Boccia England again with your weekend challenge, which is entitled, How Long is a Minute? The higher the level of boccia you play, the more likely you are to have a clock at the end of the court. But of course, when you're playing your ball, you really shouldn't be watching the clock. If you're in a team or a pair, somebody else can be doing that for you. That's really good practice. So we do give verbal prompts at when you've got 1 minute to go, 30 seconds to go, or 10 seconds to go. But do you know actually how long that is and what you can do in that time? So before I go any further with this, I'm just going to mention that from a referee's point of view, an official's point of view, we do have a little bit of a joke sometimes that some of our players are so fast at throwing the ball that we can't even take our eyes off them. And as a coach, I'm very, very respectful of our BC3s who manage to do a terrific amount of work in every minute, and of our super fit BC3 assistants who just have to work so hard for the players to get their balls away in a minute. So there's a really big difference there between players who don't take enough of that time and players who really have to fight to get the ball away in that time. So we're going to look at that a little bit more. So the first thing we're going to do is probably going to be the most boring piece of video you've seen for a long time, because I'm going to sit here and I'm going to start the clock and I'm going to tell you when 10 seconds is up, when 30 seconds is up, and when the minute is up. And what I want you to do is to see if you can say it at the same time that I do. So ideally, don't look at the screen because you might see something from me. And see exactly when you say each of these things is. Now, you might also be able to replay this section. So if you haven't got anybody else to assist you at home, you can use my start and my 10, 30 or 1 minute times for you to get to know what you're doing in that time, which you'll see later on in the practice today. So I was feeling very clever because I got it all set up on my smartwatch, but now I've lost it again. This is not so good, Sandra, is it? Let's see if we can find it again. Keep going. There we go. Okay, so are you ready? Start. Ten. So when you think it gets to 30 seconds, you're going to say that out loud or nod your head or whatever you'd like to do. $30. And the same again. So think about whether you were under or over on the 10 seconds and the 30 seconds, and the watch is still running. And when it gets to a minute, I will tell you then. $1 minute. Okay, so how was that for you? A lot of people really, really underestimate and think that the minute is up a long time before it is. So the next thing we're going to do is you can test yourself on that and just have some practice doing that. You can do it by maybe putting a timer on your phone and then starting it, not looking at it, and then looking back at it at the time that you think the time is up. But then the next thing to go on to is actually working out what you can do in a minute. So I'm going to suggest as a challenge that you put your jack ball out and you turn your back away from the camera or from your jack ball, so that when the timer starts, you have to turn around and you have to go through your technical process. Okay, so we would start the time this way round. Start, you would have to turn around in your chair. You would do your lining up, you would do your preparation phase, your delivery phase, and your follow through. And all that would be within that 1 minute time. And after that, you're going to look at, well, how much time is left? And then I want you to reflect on, did you rush your shot process? Or actually, did you manage to get all the parts of your technical process in? And then importantly, how accurate was the ball compared with how accurate you know it can be. So for instance, if you rush your technical process, it might not be as accurate. If you overthink your technical process, it might not be so accurate. So just go through your technical process at a reasonable speed and see if that improves your accuracy. Often when we time things, it puts pressure on us and we become less accurate. That's well known throughout sport. So you keep using the feedback you're giving yourself to try and improve the next time until you know exactly what it is you can do with your technical process within that amount of time. Now you can add difficulty by this. If you have an assistant, you can get them to place the ball when your back is turned so you don't know where it's going to be. Or if you're in a safe enough environment to do this, you could even chuck the ball over your shoulder before you turn around and play. So you can repeat that exercise for having 30 seconds or 10 seconds left. And then try using your knowledge to deliver a penalty ball. Now you might not have 5 meters available for a penalty ball, just make a penalty box that's that much closer, or you could set up 4 cans or that sort of thing on the floor, and do exactly the same thing. Try and go and then imagine you're taking the ball from the referee and then you're playing your penalty shot. For coaches and captains of team and pairs events, it's also excuse me, really good for you to think about how much you can do in a minute and how much you can say in a minute. I always think I'm not going to say too much, and I always end up with these videos being 7 or 8 minutes long. I think that gives you a clue as to how hard it can be. So at the end of all this training, do you have a better idea of how long a minute is? As usual, all this is on a nice file that's uploaded at the same time. Have fun. Bye.